Thank you so much, Puckett. And, I do want to point something out here. The Europeans went with the, European North American team Rogue.
Yeah.
And the lone American from right here in the heart of America went for FNRGFE and FNRGFE. Man, that just, I am not saying that.
Yeah,
by
it just
the way.
rolls off the tongue,
just
right?
rolls so wonderfully. But anyway, this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, and I think Rogue has a huge opportunity here. If they're able to take this match, and then obviously, Kongarna against Envy coming up after this, with how Envy is playing, you expect them to take that series. This is one where Rogue can find themselves potentially getting into the top 4. And I know if they lose this, right, it set up like a death match tomorrow between them and Immortals.
Yeah.
Both teams, in a really rough spot. So if Rogue wins this match, wins tomorrow against Immortals, they're in a very good position to make playoffs.
I will agree with Gill, though, that, the upset potential is certainly there for FNRGFE.
They have the players.
And it will certainly rest on the tanks to be those guys who really disrupt and just cause a lot of problems for Rogue. And also another thing, too, we know Soon can play Doomfist. How often does he go for that? Because that has kind of been a big difference maker here. I don't even know really if both of these teams are comfortable with it. But coming into this one, also bear in mind that Pharah is going to be very important in Oasis. And Buds has shown in the past to be a formidable Pharah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you get Buds a little bit more comfortable. The devs talking about, him potentially slumping as of late. Clockwork has been, pretty rock solid on the Tracer. I think for Rogue, I know they stuck with Nico on the Diva all week last week. Now, they didn't have wins in play. You had Colsey come in, so they just tried to stay something a little bit standard, not really run the triple DPS as often. Maybe you say them commit to this Diva this week. I think I know Nico, if you look at all the stats, Nico and AKM, both of the players who have run the Diva for this team, Nico has been much more effective on it. Looks like at the start, that's at least what you're going to get from Rogue.
Yeah, and AKM with that Soldier 76 could certainly cause a lot of problems for Buds. But here we go, folks. The doors are open. Both teams now going to skirmish, and it seems like FNRGFE going to try and see if they can establish themselves some solid control at the beginning here, get that high ground position, wait to see if Rogue goes in for the dive. But remember, they're going to have Buds in the air, just getting that damage down and forcing back Rogue. That's really going to have to rely on Buds giving himself, those angles that he would really ideally look to get, and then 76 for AKM trying to get the angles he needs to be able to pick off Buds in the sky here.
Yeah, Buds just does enough damage to keep Rogue off with a point, and then you see FNRGFE, they get extremely aggressive, they push on through. He's able to pick up some kills, do some nice damage. You see the point getting very close to going over to FNRGFE. See a pulse bomb come out there from Soon on a Bonnie, you're not going to have the res. Point getting very close to the sound barrier here, but you see the damage that Buds can do on the Pharah. It'll be FNRGFE able to take the first point here.
Yeah, despite being able to take out the Diva as well as the Mercy, they manage to get control. FNRGFE, though, they're waiting this one out. They want to get the regroup, and they're going to just try and force the fight here on the point. They get in. Everyone's just kind of trying to play this little dance here, X.
Yeah, and Rogue is forced to back up. Nico is actually de-mech'd there, so now they back up. They get him back in mech, but that just buys enough time for FNRGFE to kind of get all set up here. You have Buds getting very close to the rocket barrage, and you have both support ults for the side of FNRGFE.
Look for Clockwork here to make a big play, dive into the back line, perhaps take out one of the supports. He sees that the Lucio as well as the Zen are up there, but maybe it's going to be time for him to go in there, help out his teammates, and take care of the tanks. But there go Nox. He's going to drop that Primal Rage as well. Buds in the sky. He will have Barrage, Transcendence as well, and that's just going to have to force Buds back here for the time being. Nox gets the kill on Bonnie. This is looking pretty good for Rogue thus far. They do have the slight man advantage, but Cool Matt is going to even the odds, though, taking out Nox. But he's going to be in a world of hurt, just absolutely drained on that HP, and he'll have to get out of dodge as soon as he possibly can. They do lose out on Muma as well, so it will really rely on a weakened Cool Matt to keep them alive in this fight. He does get D-mech, but he's one of the best players at getting back into the mech when you need him to. Bud's still flying in the air, and this is still going to be FNRGFE gaining significant percentage here, X.
Yeah, they were able to stay on the point long enough. You have Bonnie back in the fight now. You have the res. See how they decide to play this. Bud's going up top. Has this rocket barrage, just trying to line up a few players here from Rogue. Land this big Pharah ultimate as now you have FNRGFE. They're already up to 90%, and that's huge. They're able to get AKM out of the fight. Now you see it's going to be able to just fire these rockets down onto Unco and the supports for Rogue. It's going to force Nico to back all the way up.
They're delaying that so well, and they're going to get that first point. Nox could not put the body on to the point there, and because of that, That first one goes to FNRGFE, and again, you got to give credit where credit is due. Cool Matt, right? I mean, you lose out on Muma, you can rely on Cool Matt to keep himself going. Clockwork getting some big kills too. Overall, good round for FNRGFE.
Yeah, I think the far play from Buds was really important there for FNRGFE. You know, he was just able to land a lot of rockets onto AKM. Because it seemed like Nico was not really eating a lot of those rockets up with the defense matrix. They really focused on, you know, landing the Discord onto Buds and then having AKM take him out with the 76. They're not able to do that. As soon as they got AKM weak, that's when you saw Nico have to back up, try and help, you know, his supports and his 76. And that's when you saw FNRGFE just go deep, be able to win those fights.
There we go. Second point now. If FNRGFE are able to win this, it wouldn't be surprising considering that last week Rogue also fell in the control, and this is also the first time, if I'm correct, that Rogue will be playing on Oasis, so we really haven't had much of an opportunity to see this team on this particular map. Bonnie with the EMP, or excuse me, with Sombra, who has that EMP and might just one clip here if you're not careful, because there's a lot of damage, some good harass, pushing them back.
Yeah, and both teams with the Sombra, because FNRGFE, they win that first fight with Buds able to take out soon. They're able to get control of the lower health pack and the health pack in the right room. So you imagine FNRGFE able to farm this EMP faster than Rogue.
Point's going to be available to capture now. Bonnie's so close to being able to make the EMP happen. It charges up so quickly, and he's going to use it, so no one's going to be able to use their ultimate abilities. No one can use their abilities at all. Bonnie's just going to push right in, take out the mech there for Nico, and you're not going to have that D.Va protection there. It's still going to be a skirmish, but it will tip for FNRGFE for the time being. Nox is going to be in a world of hurt in the corner, and that will be the blue team coming out on top in this fight and establishing control.
For Rogue, though, this next fight, you know, you're going to have the EMP soon, going to get very close to a pulse bomb. We'll see if he's able to land one of those at the beginning of this fight. Open it up. Buds, though, on the other end, will have a tac visor here, 96% and counting. You're going to see how Rogue plays this. They're going to put a lot of pressure on Buds here with the defense matrix, get Nico in his face. You see the pulse bomb come out there from Suni. You don't see anything show up. Okay, so they demech Cool Matt. That's actually pretty big here. Now you're going to lose that defense matrix, but you see just Bud's uncontested up top. He'll land down some shots on and Nox. Now the point will stay in favor of FNRGFE.
They really can't get anyone on there, right? Like, it's been just such a pain in the neck for them to find an opening. And Bud's moving around the map very well. Bonnie getting ready for this EMP here, and again, once you see that drop, that's when the scatter starts to happen for Rogue.
Yeah, and AKM actually used his EMP in that last fight as well. So now for Rogue, you just have these two support ults. You have Bonnie with the EMP on the side of FNRGFE. He comes in, they use it, they get aggressive.
An immediate pick there on Unco will just remove him from the equation. The tac visor on the left side, and that is just some great dive, great coordination. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in that play, and they executed it beautifully.
You did use a pulse bomb, tac visor, and EMP there. I mean, now for Rogue, you're going to have a nice ult advantage going into the next fight. Primal Rage, Transcendence, and Sound Barrier, but you lose soon at the beginning here, so you're going to have to wait. The percentage is just keeping on climbing here for FNRGFE. So they're going to get to 90%. Rogue needs to make something happen quick.
Yeah, Bonnie was shooting around to see if maybe he can catch the cloaked Sombra. 95%. So close. They're going to engage with the Transcendence. Now it's going to be do or die here for Rogue. If they lose this one, they will end up losing game one, and that is not a position that they want to be in here. They're able to take out Cool Matt, so no more D.Va protection for them, and they might be able to make this flip happen. Here comes the EMP right above. He's waiting for it, though. Never mind. I thought he was going to go for it because he translocated over there, but I think they recognize that they can give this fight to Rogue here for the time being because they got to 99%, and in my opinion, that was mission accomplished.
Yeah, and Wins and Bonnie are both waiting each other out. That's why you don't see the EMP come in for the side of FNRGFE. They already have a few players down, and you're waiting for Wins to use the sound barrier, then negate the effects of that with the EMP. Now, FNRGFE, they lose that fight. You do have the Transcendence used on the side of Rogue. They still have the sound barrier, but you can negate those effects there with the EMP. You see an EMP come in for AKM. You see the pressure coming in from Rogue here into the spawn of FNRGFE.
They're able to get the kills as well, so this will have to be a reset. And now Rogue in a decent position as far as gaining percentage is concerned. EMP is going to charge so fast, so they don't necessarily need to worry about that. FNRGFE will still continue to have those ults to their advantage, though. And again, like you mentioned before, it's just a little bit it's a game of chicken.
Well, now FNRGFE, they can get a good use of the sound barrier. There's no EMP. They know that on the other side. And then if Wins uses the sound barrier on the side of Rogue, you have the EMP to negate those effects. You see Bonnie actually opens things up with the EMP, and then you see the sound barrier come in, a self-destruct as well. Beautiful combination of ults there for FNRGFE.
I was going to say that they didn't get wins with the EMP, but it didn't matter because of the self-destruct went in there and absolutely destroyed wins in the back line. Bud's trying to stay alive, and he's able to do so courtesy of the assistance there from Bonnie. They're going to make this flip happen. Overtime will start to burn out here. Transcendence to go in for the delay. Unco just wants to keep this fight alive as much as he possibly can. The supports are going to get in there first, and now they're going to have teammates to try and dive into this, but they got to do it right now. And there goes the Primal Rage. It's going to try and bully everyone out of the point here. They end up losing out Cool Matt on the Diva as well, so that could come back to bite them in the butt in the end. But still, though, no one's going to get on the point. Finally, they're going to dive back in here. Pulse Bomb's going to come through. Clockwork's going to find that one. Now it's just going to be Bonnie alongside Muma. Muma will be dropped. Bonnie left alone. The flip needs to come through, and it seems like that might be the case here, but Bonnie is delaying it as much as he can so his teammates can get back into it, and there goes the flip. Rogue right back in this game.
Yeah, Unco uses the Transcendence to get on the point. They pop the Primal Rage to get all the way back. And coming into that fight, Rogue had a lot of ultimates to use to try and swing things back after you saw just a lot of ultimates. Pretty much everything put in for the side of FNRGFE to take the point. Bonnie with the EMP, the only ult on the board here. He uses it. He gets taken out right away from Soon. Now AKM on the other side has an EMP of his own.
Cool Matt picks up the kill on Soon. AKM has the EMP and could look to use this one to really disrupt the fight, especially if they know that this is a big opportunity for him. Tac Visor there for Buds. EMP is going to be out as well, but it won't matter because Buds is going to have that Tac Visor and just absolutely shred. He picks up 3 kills. Clockwork is going to follow it up, and that is going to be the flip, and this is looking like FNRGFE will come out on top. They have to take out Soon here, and overtime is burning out, and there you have it. FNRGFE take game number 1.
It's a nice Tac Visor there at the end from Buds. They just force Rogue off of the point to that back right corner. They have no support ults to work with. You know, AKM trying to land that big EMP, you know, thinking that Boink has a sound barrier on the other side. You know, uses the EMP, but the Tac Visor's already out at that moment in time. See a play of the game here from Unco. This is towards the end, right, where they were able to get the point back. I believe it was, Unco there with Nico, able to take the point back for Rogue, but not enough as FNRGFE takes map number 1.
And also one thing to take note of as well was there was just a lot of damage output for FNRGFE, right? You have Soon with the Tracer, and you also have the damage being done by the Sombra. But when you compare that to having a 76 who can play back, can farm really well, they have the support there. And even without the Discord orbs, right? Even without the Discord orbs from Zenyatta, he was still doing a lot of damage to the tanks. And it's hard to, in my opinion, it's hard to like win that fight out, right? Like to go to like slug with them, right? It's just tough for Rogue there, and they just didn't have the damage to follow up.
At the beginning of the second round, you had Buds land a Helix Rocket on a Soon, like right away, and that kind of gave, you know, the early EMPs in favor of FNRGFE because they're able to get control of the bottom health pack in the one up top to the right. So you're able to control both of those major health packs. You saw towards the later half of the game, Rogue was able to get control of them because they're able to get control of the point. But, you know, just that initial kill, able to just buy FNRG some space on the map. They're able to get control of both those health packs, and you get, you know, an extra EMP or two out of those fights. It's crucial in the end.
Well, now we're going to be making our way over to Numbani, folks. FNRGFE up currently 1-0. Gillfrost picked FNRGFE at the desk, and he was feeling pretty confident in his choice there. And again, we mentioned it at the top of the show. If there's a team that has upset potential, it is the North American squad, FNRGFE.
Yeah, and I think Rogue, what you saw from them struggle in week 1, because, I mean, right, last week they played with Colsey, different lineup, different things going on in terms of team composition, people playing different roles. When they had this roster, their starting lineup in week 1, they were not able to really protect their supports all that well. And I think you saw that happen on the first point on Oasis when Buds was on the Pharah. They put a lot of pressure on AKM and Unco to be able to do some damage. They didn't really bring the Diva back to kind of use the defense matrix, make it a little bit easier on those guys until they took damage. And then at that point, your Diva's coming back, half health. You're leaving, your Winston and your Tracer in a tough position towards the middle of the map. So it'll be interesting to see how Rogue adjusts. Maybe they change some things up in terms of how they're going to play those certain fights. But here for FNRGFE, at least at the beginning, I know obviously some changes. Yeah, they're going to probably change this out. So Muma was on the Reinhardt. He'll go back to the spawn. He will come back as Winston. So I know pretty standard. I mean, Bonnie will play Ana here. So I know you could have had Ana, Zenyatta, either or. Clockwork will stay on the Tracer, and then Buds will be running the 76.
And Bonnie on the Ana is just great on defense. You know, can do a lot of healing from a distance, and you know, a lot of actually just that biotic nade, just sustain, keeping them alive on that ledge on the right side. Typically, you're going to see teams go in here for the dive, and they scout it out. They know exactly where they are. They know how they want to play this one out. And here comes Nico, and he's just going to jump right into it, and that's going to have to force Buds out of that ledge. But despite that, though, AKM is going to be the first one to fall. They're going to play around the corner here. Rogue continues to maintain, you know, some kind of control, but it will be contested by FNRGFE, who just getting kills one by one. Soon needs to take out this D.Va, and just Coolmat being such a pain in the neck there. Soon getting out of the action to really handle that D.Va, and now he's just pretty much in a position where kind of just, he's by himself.
Yeah, and right there, Coolmat, you just saw a fantastic D.Va play. He's able to get a kill there. You know, jumps off the side, he wants his mech back, but no, he's able to get an AKM's face, able to win that engagement, and then he just keeps going deeper, right? And that forces some of the members for Rogue to split all the way back. As now Rogue looks like they're going to try and make a play right for the point here. You see them get up top. They're going to force the players for FNRGFE down from the high ground. AKM's able to take out Buds here at the beginning. And look at this, Muma kind of all on his own here. I imagine a lot of pressure going to come in for Rogue onto him. A pulse bomb from Soon onto the mech of Coolmat, going to force him to back up.
Yeah, that was a good push up there to try and establish control. They're about to get their second tick now. There you go. Second tick is going to be had, and now they're so close to being able to make the cap happen, and they do so, and they keep them back because having to re-engage from that point is very, very difficult to do so. And here comes the D.Va stagger. Won't really result in all that much, but they're going to get aggressive, though. Try and see if they can get some poke, you know, push them back. But I think, okay, they're all opting to just kind of go back to the payload and get as much progress out of this as they could possibly have here.
Yeah, I mean, FNRGFE, they back all the way up, right? I mean, you lose your Winston, he's coming back. Then you lose your D.Va. Now you have some ults to work with in the next fight. You just don't need anybody to get picked off right away. On the side of Rogue, you'll have both support ults and attack visor, primal rage, and you'll have a self-destruct. So both teams coming in this next fight with a lot of ultimates.
There goes the engage from FNRGFE. They have a lot of ults as well, but so do Rogue. And they have a bit more to keep them alive, a bit more to keep them sustained in this fight. And you, oh, Muma, he's just getting shredded there. The HP is going down little by little. AKM's playing this one back. There goes the Transcendence. D.Va self-destruct is what to kind of displace them there. Primal Rage is out for Muma. AKM having to go all the way back now. Play this one out. Wait to see if he could work with his teammates now. Regroup onto the point. Coolmat, he's going to have to focus his attention on the other side there. And I think that was a good play there, you know, from the Winston. Unfortunately for him, I mean, he went a little too far deep and didn't have the support. But had they had the follow-up, they could have potentially eliminated the D.Va from the situation.
It's a big fight for FNRGFE. You're able to win it without using either of your support ults. You demech Nico here. He's going to have to go back into the spawn. You see he's going to switch Orisa now back to D.Va. So he'll get the mech back. That'll reset, you know, his progress towards a self-destruct. But it's big for FNRGFE. You win that without having to use a sound barrier. Now you nano boost Muma at the beginning of this next fight, trying to keep Rogue in their spawn.
Yeah, and Soon got sniffed out there. The Helix rocket came down, and Soon was like, nope, not going to deal with that one. So right now, FNRGFE really in the driver's seat here, putting Rogue in just an uncomfortable spot. They are going to have a sound barrier to potentially engage into this fight. Or when they see that the going is going to get tough, then they decide to use it. Nothing quite yet. Tac Visor is going to be out, using the bubble to give himself that added protection, but the Biotic Nade just gives you so much health regen. But I think this is Rogue winning this fight out, pushing that payload around the second corner. And so far, so good here for the Frenchmen, once again, as they make their way through the streets phase. But a good hold, I would say, like just way to like burn some time for FNRGFE, which you know, small wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, FNRGFE, they use the sound barrier, but at that point, Coolmat is already, you know, demeched, so you don't have the defense matrix to eat up, you know, the tac visor that comes in for the side of AKM. And you see it's going to be a primal rage here for FNRGFE, trying to stay on the point. Muma will fall. You have Clockwork still trying to contest this here. Boink getting back towards the payload as well. But these players should fall. You see not a lot of other, you know, follow-up coming in for FNRGFE. They'll take the second point, will Rogue. Now for FNRGFE, you'll have, you know, potentially a nano boost here. You just use your primal rage. Bugs switches off of the 76. He'll go over to Genji, maybe him and Clockwork, and put some more pressure on Unko and wins in the backline.
And that particular fight as well, I mean, I think they were hoping to burn out maybe one of the support ults there so that they could be in a better position here.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue, you just see the Pulse Bomb come out from soon. We have both support ults here, getting very close to another attack visor as well. Muma gets the benefits of the nano boost, but Rogue backs all the way up. Now they're going to lead the charge with the Transcendence.
Using the Transcendence to engage is something that you would typically see, and it works out so well. Attack visor, when does he decide to use it? Having to run away from the engagement for the time being, though. And look at that, Cool Matt, as soon as he got back into his mech, he knew that he was donezo, and AKM will use the attack visor, push everyone back. They're going to have to delay their push here. Right around the bend is Rogue. They are so close to being able to accomplish 3 points, get the objective capped, and succeed here in their first push. They have so much time remaining as well. There goes the D.Va self-destruct. Again, just forcing everyone back. Cool Match just going to get absolutely shredded as well. Clockwork, not long for this world, and that is going to do it. 3 points for Rogue.
Yeah, I think what Rogue did there is, I know towards the end, there was a beautiful disengage when Muma came in with the nano boost on the Winston. And then once that wears out, they push on forward with the Transcendence. They follow it up with a sound barrier. They're able to demet Cool Matt, let AKM go to work on the 76. A fantastic offensive side from Rogue. They complete the map. They have 2 minutes and 4 seconds left in the time bank.
And you saw as soon as Cool Matt was down, he did not even hesitate. He knew right away that he just had to pop the attack visor and charge right forward. That got them around that corner, the final corner in the 3rd point, and that was just beautifully done. Rogue executed that, to perfection. Very similar to what we saw Buds do actually on 76. In Oasis, just really executing so well on both sides. This has been a pretty good match thus far.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it as well, I know we talk about AKM, obviously, with the attack visor, you're able to get Cool Matt out of the mech. Soon is a big reason of that. He's able to get the Pulse Bomb landed on a Cool Matt consistently, able to just chunk down that HP with the Tracer ult, and then quickly get him out of the mech, get the defense matrix out of the way. So on the side of Rogue on the defensive end, it looks like we'll see AKM on the Sombra. Unko will be running your solo heal, technically, with Ana. AKM, obviously, though, with Sombra, you're able to hack the health packs, get a lot of healing done there.
Envy here as well.
Yeah, and then you move Wins over to the 76. I'm interested to see how they deal with the Far Mercy combination on the side of FNRGFE yet again. Buds was extremely effective with it on Oasis, so I think you're going to put a lot of pressure on Unko and Wins here to be able to win some of these fights. And I know they were not able to do it with AKM and Unko on Oasis. We'll see how it fares here with Unko and Wins here on defense.
The Pharah pick, what I like about this is that you can just have a very aggressive dive into the back line, and with the amount of damage that the Pharah rocket launcher can put forward. But I think they did get the look. So now they are just going to have to play this one further back to the ledge, not necessarily play onto the point, as you could see, and the concussion's going to knock them back. And so far, so good. I think they didn't get the aggression that I'm sure that they probably would have wanted had they not been sniffed out, but they are getting D.Va out of it, and that is just going to give Buds even more room to just continue to rain down damage, be a pain in the neck for this team to have to deal with here. Good push thus far from FNRGFE. And they're going to be on the point. They're close to getting that first tick here. So close to being able to make it happen. And I think, yes, they are going to get the first tick. So now it's just going to be a matter of whether or not they can continue to force them back and not give them the comfort to dive back in.
Soon doing a nice job, though, staying alive behind enemy lines, letting his teammates come off of spawn. AKM now going to earn an EMP. He's going to use it, but you see the rest of his teammates dropping like flies. Soon still on the point here for Rogue. So you see Clockwork here putting a lot of damage down onto Nox. This should be a point that FNRGFE should be able to take. Bud's getting very close to a rocket barrage. You have everything, in terms of ultimates for FNRGFE here as they unlock the payload. 5 minutes to go, now going through the streets phase.
That was just well done from Buds and FNRGFE. It really did factor them just focusing down on Nico early on in that engagement. And then that just gave Bud so much room to work with. Yeah,
and immediately they go off of the Sombra here. You're going to go back to what we see Rogue do consistently. You have AKM now on the 76, and you'll have Unko go to the Zenyatta. I think it's going to be really telling. They have to figure out how to deal with this Far Mercy. It's going to be soon. Able to land a Pulse Bomb on Muma, but he gets res right away. A rocket barrage comes out. AKM able to land a nice Helix rocket there on the Buds. FNRGFE uses a lot of ultimates here. You still hold on to the sound barrier, but Rogue still in this fight.
Clockwork is doing some work right now. I have to say, he's getting a lot of kills here and being a real nuisance for Rogue to have to deal with, and largely uncontested in this turn. I mean, yeah, you're going to have Soon there to try and delay it, but in comparison to what we saw from Rogue, that was just a very good push from FNRGFE, and now they're going to make their way around so close to that second point, and they're making some great time.
Yeah, but Rogue is going to have, at least maybe one more attempt to get in here. Nox going to have the Primal Rage, and then, if he's able to stay alive for an extended period of time, he'll have a self-destruct, Pulse Bomb, Hack Visor as well. So, and a Transcendence. You have a lot here for Rogue in this next fight. You see FNRGFE, they're going to use the sound barrier early.
Yeah, and I think that is certainly a win for Rogue to just get that sound barrier out, force out that. But wait a minute, Bonnie's going to bring back Muma. So once again, the tank play continues here for FNRGFE. And, for this team, you want to prioritize the tanks because of the damage that they do. Clockwork as well, shooting those rockets down. That will have to prompt out the Transcendence to continue to stall this one out. But FNRGFE are going to continue to rally the troops here, come back and fight this one out. Bud's is in the air, once again, uncontested. And if he could take out the Diva, there you go. But Soon finds him. So I was going to say that barrage could have been pretty big, but they ended up losing everyone at that moment, and they are stopped right at that point.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue just had a big ultimate advantage coming into that fight. I believe on the side of FNRGFE, you just had a sound barrier. They use it early. They back up a little bit. Rogue holds on to their sound barrier in that fight. Now you see FNRGFE, they make some changes. Bonnie will go to the Zenyatta, and Buds will go off of the Pharah here to the 76. Maybe they try and get some more control of the high ground. But it looks like, at least for now, they're going around this backside, going to put a lot of pressure on Unko with the back.
Yeah, and you have a 76 and Zenyatta holding hands, working together, and Unko is just going to be a target. But just a good job from AKM to just know that that dive was coming. The Discord Orb was down on Muma, I believe, and that is why he was able to shred the health before, he could do any more damage to the back line there. And this is going to have to be FNRGFE kind of going back, recollecting themselves and thinking about how they want to make this approach happen. All that good time advantage that they had is kind of fading away here. So they got to make something happen now.
Yeah, it was a good push by FNRGFE, right? Had Muma and Clockwork go on that far left side. You're able to get rid of Unko, but AKM and wins there. You had some help from Nico dropping back on the Diva. We'll see if they try this again, as you see Muma going for the same type of route. He's going to pop the Primal Rage there early to stay alive. Clockwork throws out the Pulse Bomb, not able to pick up anything.
Hey, but when your Zenyatta is getting a kill on Tracer, I mean, you have to be very happy with that. Dueling self-destructs on each side. Clockwork again, popping up into the kill feed, taking out AKM there, so no more DPS. That is going to have to prompt out the Primal Rage there from Nox. Nox is going to be so close to dying. Nico as well, he's going to be desuited. Bud's using the Tack Visor, and they're putting a lot into this fight so that they can make this cap happen. They are right there, just a couple meters, and they will make it. But, I mean, it was looking good at the start, and I'm sure, they were so close to being able to make that first cap happen, X, and that first push, but good job from Rogue to hold them off.
Yeah, it was a good defense there from Rogue. Now for FNRGFE, you round this corner, all you have in terms of support ults is the Transcendence. You do have a Pulse Bomb. Buds used Attack Visor in the last fight. You see that it's going to be Rogue, able to contest the payload here. AKM has that Attack Visor. I think you're going to wait for Wins to get that sound barrier before you get a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, or not, because they're just going to go ahead and use it, and that will force out the Transcendence there to keep his team alive.
So they've used the Transcendence here for the side of FNRGFE. When the Attack Visor comes through, now you see the sound barrier come in from Rogue. Now they're going to decide to get aggressive.
Yeah, and there's certain ways you can go ahead and play around with the ultimates, right? You can use the sound barrier to go ahead and get aggressive, push in with the Attack Visor, or you could do exactly as Rogue did. Wait it out, bait out those ultimates, and just shred them. And that is exactly what Rogue did. They come out on top here, FNRGFE, with 1:42 remaining, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and Rogue there, they probably know, right? The sound barrier was used in one of the last fights for FNRGFE, so you know they don't have the sound barrier, you know they only have the Transcendence. You use the Tack Visor, you don't get anything for it in terms of kills, right? But you bait out that support ult, then you go in with the sound barrier of your own, and now you push FNRGFE back underneath the bridge. You have control of this great choke if you're Rogue. You also have a Transcendence as well.
Also, AKM is building up Tack Visor pretty fast here. He had just used it, and he is more than halfway there at this point. So far, Buds on Genji has largely been a non-factor. I haven't really, been able to talk much about Buds, who had a significant impact at the start of the game. They will have some ults coming online on the support end here, and now this could be the opportunity they were looking for. No Dragon Blade just yet, though, and I'm sure FNRGFE would love to have that alongside this, but it seems like he will be able to gain it in a little bit. Cool Matt gets the kill there. Oh, if they could pick off Nico, but I just don't think that's gonna. Whoa, he was able to do so at the staircase. He was getting back into the mech there. He demeched into the sky, got back in. That is pretty big. That is certainly going to win them this fight, and now they make their way around the bend.
Yeah, Rogue tries to engage with their Transcendence. Transcendence comes out for FNRGFE. They're able to stay alive. Cool Matt launches the self-destruct. They're able to get the payload around the corner, getting very close to completing the map. They have a sound barrier to work with, and they have their own Dragon Blade here as well. It'll be a Primal Rage that comes out once Nox gets hit with a Pulse Bomb.
No, and there goes the sound barrier and Dragon Blade. A great combination to give some added protection to Buds as he goes right into the back line. He was able to take out AKM, though. Still, this fight continues to rage on as FNRGFE, they're going to be right there. Overtime is in effect. So far, if you're a Rogue fan, you're happy with their performance because they were able to hold them off here. 0.29 or 1.29 meters left now. AKM and the crew, they're getting the kills necessary, but Clockwork enters back with 3 kills of his own. They are so close to being able to make this one happen. Bonnie's just going to dance around the point, and he is trying his best, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and that is going to be Rogue getting the win, 3-2. They were so close, yet so far away.
Yeah, kills are going in favor of FNRGFE there towards the end, but it was Soon and Unko able to stay alive for just long enough on the cart. Unko able to pick up a few kills at the end there with some help from Soon.
Clockwork was doing work that game, man.
Oh, Clockwork at the end was doing a lot of work, but not enough there as AKM switches over the Doomfist. He gets, I believe, just a one-shot rocket punch there, and then it just kind of allows Soon and Unko to stay alive on the payload as Rogue holds on here on Numbani, tying the series up at 1 game apiece.
So many plays out of that game, and I'm, I'm really impressed with Rogue, on that hold, right? Because it really looked like they were caught off guard by the fire pick, but then they were able to regroup themselves. A lot put into that second point push for FNRGFE, and then not getting anything out of that. That started to snowball into a series of unfortunate events for the North American team, and now we're all tied up 1-1 here, X.
Yeah, I really think it was when Rogue was able to get back to the cart. When the second Streets phase was going on, they were able to just stop FNRGFE.
Yeah,
and
they were
really
right there.
Yeah, and then towards the end, I mean, FNRGFE, they only really have like 2-3 really good attempts because they're on the other side of that choke, on the opposite side of the bridge. Now, it forces Buds to switch off of the 76 to the Genji. I know he's able to get his Dragon Blade towards the end, but it forces that switch. You have to get a little bit more mobility to dive in, go through that choke.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's go ahead now and send it over for our halftime breakdown with Puckett and the crew. Over to you.
Thank you, fellas. 2 games in, and we're all